In this video, we are looking at designing experiments, questionnaires, surveys, and data collection sheets. Again, I would recommend just reading through this, doing this in your own time with your notes, but if that's not available to you, you can watch on. So when you're carrying out a survey, a recording sheet can be used to record the responses. In advance of asking the questions, think what the possible answers are, and then use these answers as the headings for the columns in a table. So, question 2 we have, which design sheet is the most effective for investigating the colour of cars passing a school? So, would you choose this recording sheet or design sheet? Red, blue, green, white, or red, blue, white, black, silver, other, or C, red, blue, white, black, silver, green, yellow, pink, grey, pink, other. The answer to that there would be B. If you saw coming past a colour that wasn't red, blue, green or white, you have no option to record it in the table. If you pick C, there's just probably too many options there for, not for recording purposes, but more for when you try to process and maybe represent that. I think of the bar chart with all of those options or pie charts, just gets a little bit unwieldy. You want to have around 5 or 6 options that's more appropriate. So you get ones you think are the most common, the most popular, and then you leave a box for others so that it'll definitely be an option for every single car coming past. So when designing a questionnaire, follow these rules. The questions are clear and precise, with no unnecessary information. The questions are equally balanced. The questions are closed. The questions are not biased. Any groups used are clearly and uniquely defined, and there are no gaps in the groups. We'll look at all those again now individually. Balanced questions. There must be an equal number of agree and disagree options. So number 3 we have, do you use your mobile phone frequently? A bad recording sheet would be strongly disagree, neither agree, disagree, agree, strongly agree. That's unbalanced. There's 2 in the agree side, 1 on the disagree side and 1 in the middle. Too much on the agree, so it needs to be more balanced. Here's your middle, neither agree, disagree. Then you've got agree with disagree and strongly agree along with strongly disagree. So that's a better option. That's balanced. Closed questions. There must be an option for everyone to choose. So, which is your favourite sport? Bad sheet would be football, hockey, rugby, tennis, netball, cricket, because if you like volleyball, you can't put your answer down. So good is just to do exactly the same, because you might think that they're the most common sports and then have another one for other if somebody likes volleyball or whatever. Okay, we shouldn't have biased questions. If options are leaning towards a particular opinion, gender or age, then they would be biased. For example, if the question was, what is your favourite music genre? Bad would be pop, rock, dance, rap, electronic, hip-hop. Now, maybe that's bad because there's no other, but as well as that, the issue is potentially the person who's written that there, these are the genres that are more appropriate, or that maybe that they would listen to or their age group would listen to. So it leans towards that age group. I would imagine maybe someone younger would have written that design sheet. A bit less biased would be try to make sure you've got a good range of all musics for all ages. So pop, rock, dance, country, classical, jazz and other. So in summary, I think this one's biased towards a younger audience. This one is more balanced, or it's unbiased, you would say. Wrongly defined groups. Each response can only go in one group, and there must be a group for each result. So number 6, we have, which age group do you belong to? 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40. What's wrong with that? Well, this is wrongly defined as it does not include babies under 1 or people over 40. So you would need to insert those two to make sure all age ranges are considered. There would be exceptions, by the way, possibly like if you're doing a survey for over 18s, you might just start off at 18 and go upwards. That's fine. Okay, there's lots of ones for wrongly defined groups for us to look at. Maybe I'll just do the question first of all. So number 7, we have how many homeworks did you get last week? 1 to 2, 3 to 6, 6 to 8, or over 8. Hopefully you can see the issue there is there's an overlap. What happens if you did 6 homeworks last week? So this is wrongly defined as it is unclear which group to use if you had 6 homeworks, which is what I said. We would need to change group B or alternatively change group C. So you could do 3 to 5 for B and 6 to 8 for C, or 3 to 6 for B and 7 to 8 for C. Probably this one better. Okay, how tall are you in meters? Under 1.3, 1.3 to 1.4, 1.5 to 1.6, 1.7 to 1.8, and over 1.8. So there's no overlap here, but the opposite is the issue. If you could fall in between these groups, you could be between 1.6 and 1.7, or in between 1.4 and 1.5. So this is wrongly defined as there is nowhere to record a height of 1.64. You could clearly define the variable height and the groups as follows. Now, you don't see this as often because it's more mathematically written, I suppose, but strictly speaking, this is a better way to write it than this. This is going to cause issues. So gaps and groups, that sort of has gaps and groups, but here's another one. We've got gaps and groups. So how many questions did you get wrong? None. 1 to 4, 7 to 9, more than 9. The gap there is what happens if you've got between 4 and 7. So this is wrongly defined as there's a gap between 4 and 7. We would need to add another group as follows. A, none. B, 1 to 4. C, 5 to 6. D, 7 to 9. And E, more than 9. Then we have unsuitable questions. So number 10, it says, don't you think there's too much sport on television? What's the issue with that? Well, this is unsuitable because it is too leading and suggestive a question. A better alternative question would be more open and include different categories of response. So for example, do you think there is too much sport on television? Yes, no, or unsure. When you say, don't you think, that there is leading the person to agree with you. They would coerce slightly into coercion there. Maybe that's too strong a word though. So we've done a lot of different subtopics there. They were all based on creating a questionnaire. But the questionnaire or the design sheet has to have a question in the first place, and we're going to just look at that question. Usually the question lines up with a hypothesis. So what is a hypothesis? A hypothesis is a statement which may or may not be true. We can test a hypothesis by constructing a questionnaire. So question 11 is to design a questionnaire to test the hypothesis, men are better drivers than women. So topics we need to consider in this questionnaire would, first of all, we'd need to have the gender, male or female, so we can categorize the results and then compare between male and female. We then need to maybe consider the driving test success. That could be one measure of be a man or a woman being better than each other. Whether they pass it in the first time, the second time, or the third time. Possibly look at driving experience, penalty points, or convictions. There are potential data that would measure if men are better drivers than women. It's a little bit debatable, but that's, I suppose, if that's the question that you're trying to think of data you could collect that would best answer that question. But does it answer it specifically? That's for debate. So once we have thought of the relevant areas, we can construct the questions remembering the rules from before. So here's an example questionnaire. So the hypothesis is men are better drivers than women. So you've got, first question is, are you male or female, with a yes or no. When did you pass your driving test? First, second, third, after 3 attempts, or not yet. So everyone should be able to answer all these questions, and there's lots of different options too, but not too many. And not many gaps or overlaps, hopefully. How many accidents have you been responsible for? None, 1, 2 or 3, 4 or more. Number 4, how many years, why have you been driving? Okay, a little bit mathematical, but if it's a question maybe where you're beside the person, you can help them out a little bit if they don't understand. Or you could maybe then, if you wanted, you could change this into words to help them. So 1 year or less, between 1 and 3, up to 3, more than 3, less than or equal to 10, and so on. How many penalty points have you received? 0, 1 to 3, 3 to 9, 10 or more. Have you had any convictions? Yes, no, and I can see we have an issue here, haven't we? 1 to 3, 3 to 9. That needs to be changed to 4. Next year I'm going to change that to 4, I think, but hopefully you spotted that too. So that's an example of a questionnaire. Let's finish off with question 12. Now you won't have that word, yours will be updated. Get rid of that. So question 12. If you want to know the views of the population of Antrim, part A, state why it would be inappropriate to give a questionnaire about healthy eating at a local gym. So if the questionnaire is about healthy eating, you want to know the views of the population of Antrim. If you're asking people at a local gym, that wouldn't be representative of the population of Antrim. And I suppose when you're answering questions like this, you want to try and get the key words that would be in a mark scheme to get the answer. And I would say that it's biased towards people who go to the gym. It doesn't include people who don't go to the gym, and it'd be biased probably towards people who are more into healthy eating. Part B. State why it would be inappropriate to give a questionnaire about music in a school staff room. Well, in a school staff room, you're only going to get people of a certain age range, so it's biased towards that age range. Again, it's not representative of the full population. If something doesn't represent the whole population, automatically then it becomes biased towards the subset that it is being asked. So it's sort of biased towards people that are above 18. Also, so it doesn't represent children, doesn't represent probably people who are retired and older than that, who would live in Antrim too. The staff room doesn't represent Antrim population. The gym doesn't represent Antrim population.